Have you ever heard on the carnivore diet, just eat until you're full? You can never eat too much. You won't gain weight from eating too much. I've definitely heard that. I I will say I was the person that in the past used to even say that, like, you can't gain weight on the carnivore diet. Eat as much as you possibly can until you are completely full. That kind of thing. My mind has kind of been changing based on my own experiences over time. And I ran into this video from Dr. Sean Baker where just the other day he was talking kind of a bit about this. So I want to play this real quick and then I'm going to talk about it. So let's play it real quick here.
Appetite was a real issue here. Even on carnivore, I still have to sort of rein myself in a little bit. It makes it a lot easier, but I still have to be conscious about how much I eat. I think there's a misconception out there about a lot of people saying, oh, you can just eat whatever you want. That works for some people. But people, big eaters, people with big appetites like me, I can easily get fat on carnivore. You can get fat, but I will tell you that for me, it is far, far easier to dial in that appetite and eat in a more reasonable, responsible way on carnivore than it is when I add carbohydrates. That is clearly the case for me, right? And probably some of you as well.
Okay. So, yeah, I have definitely been changed my mind on this, and I am glad that he has come out and talked about this. Now, here's the thing. I thought about this, like, do I really want to talk about this in a video? Because so many people on the carnivore diet actually undereat. So many people that are trying to lose weight undereat instead of eating like they should. And I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I don't want people to undereat, but I think it's important to talk about. And this is like what I'm feeling, my own experiences and stuff too. Um, I kind of feel a lot like Dr. Sean Baker, where I feel as if I could just keep eating, and eat too much. And there needs to be like a sweet spot somewhere, right? You don't want to eat too little because, again, too many people undereat, but you don't want to eat too much. And I don't know that I've necessarily gained weight, maybe a couple pounds here or there from eating just pure carnivore, but eating too much. But I just noticed that I don't lose weight and I should be losing more body fat than what I am. I definitely have to say that. I've been carnivore for 3.5 years, and I think that my body fat is still a lot more than what it should be for 3.5 years on the carnivore diet. So I think I definitely feel that. And it's nice to see somebody like Dr. Sean Baker talk about this because I think that is kind of a misconception. And maybe it isn't the same for everybody. Like there are people out there that even not on the carnivore diet, they can just eat meat and they don't seem to gain any weight. But then other people do. So I think for me, I do need to kind of watch a little bit. And more than anything, it's probably how often I'm eating, I think. I think it's okay how much I eat, like in a single setting. But then a lot of times I will go and eat again later that evening, whatever. So like, 4 or 6 hours later, whatever, after the first meal I had. And that's probably not something I really need to do. I don't know exactly what it is. I feel like I get hungry. I've got hunger signals and so forth. So I feel that I'm hungry. So I go and eat. But maybe I really am not hungry and it's just my brain telling me that I'm hungry. I don't know. So I think that that's one of the biggest things is I need to try and get myself back to just eating one meal a day. I've been doing 2 meals a day too often. And then the other thing I think is that I need to incorporate some fasting of 48 to 72 hours. And I was doing that, pretty well November, December timeframe. And kind of in January, I've slacked off a little bit with that. The good news is right now I'm actually doing it and I am getting close, like around 42 hours or so fasted right at the moment. So that's good. And I think this is a good reset for me. I'm going to do probably 48 to 72 hours. Excuse me. So that's one thing that I'm doing here right now that I think will help with this. But I wonder what other people think about this because you hear that so often that you can't overeat on the carnivore diet. And it's true, like as you're eating, it's true in the sense that as you're eating, you get to the point that the meat doesn't taste as good, and that's when you know it's kind of time to stop eating. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to start tasting good again 4, 6 hours later, 8 hours later, and you probably don't really need to eat. Because I do that. I'll eat a second meal and it tastes good again, right? And I can eat to a certain point to where, okay, it doesn't taste quite as good. So now I'm going to stop eating again, right? But I probably didn't need that second meal. And that's me, in a way, kind of overeating. Now it's good that I am eating nutritious food, food that is whole food. It's got a lot of nutrients in it and vitamins and so forth. So that's good that I'm not just eating junk, that I'm overeating, but it's still probably not appropriate for me to continue to eat in those situations, to eat the 2 meals. And I think that that has stalled me. Again, I don't want people to think that it's okay to undereat and that's a problem, because there are a lot of people that do undereat. They don't eat enough in one setting, so forth. Maybe they can't. Their stomachs just, they get full too quickly, whatever it is. So I think that there is an undereating problem out there. I don't want this to sound like I'm saying that that's okay, because it's not. But I also think that there needs to be a right spot, a sweet spot, that overeating can be a problem. And again, I'm glad that Dr. Sean Baker came out and said this. I know that I feel this, you know, I feel like I am overeating at times, not necessarily one meal a setting in one single meal, but just if I eat a couple meals in a day or that kind of thing. Um, and then probably I think also part of it can be that I probably could be more just ruminant animal based, which I know is more of like the lion diet, but I could be more towards that than what I am. Like, I do eat a lot of beef, but I will have eggs. I will have bacon. I will eat chicken wings. I probably eat chicken wings really probably at least once or twice a week. Um, Eggs eat quite often, like I said. So I'll do those things, and maybe shouldn't eat quite as much of those things. Maybe I should be more beef, ruminant animal based, and see if that helps a little bit with some of that noise, I guess, if you will, where I just want to eat again. Because I think that's kind of like my own overeating disorder in a sense, that I don't really need to eat. And then there I go and I eat. So those are my thoughts on it. I've changed a bit, and I reserve the right to change my mind as I go, because before, like I said, I used to think that, yeah, you can't overeat, you won't gain weight. But I'm starting to think that that may actually be something that can happen. And that's what I think has been happening to me as well. So let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on this are on this subject.